Right, and let's go back to the Milimani courts where my colleague Rita Tinina is following that developing story where the National Land Commission chairperson Dr. Mohammed Swazuri will be arraigned in court today after in custody, and Swazuri was arrested on Saturday and held at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Swazuri was held together with 6 other officers in connection with the standard gauge railways compensation exercise. They include the Kenya Railways boss Atanas Maina. The director of public prosecutions, Nuruddin Haji, has already consented the prosecution of the officers. And we now go back to my colleague Rita Tinina. And when we spoke earlier, Rita, you say that we're not yet clear on the charges against the NLC chair, Dr. Mohammed Swazuri. And of course, this is not the first high-profile arrest we are seeing in the courts in the past few weeks, Rita.
Yes, Sharon, it is not. It appears the government has redefined its war on graft. Even yesterday, Sharon, if you remember the president speaking in Karen saying, this is just the beginning, this is not going to stop. And he says, no matter who you know, no matter how much money you have, it is not going to help you, it is not going to save you. And the president himself saying that he has lost friends, he has been under pressure, especially on the issue of demolitions, impunity, some trying to stop that. So all this, Sharon, basically Uhuru Kenyatta appears to be on a new phase, a new chapter in the war against impunity and graft. And as you can see there in the courtroom is already packed. We expect that Mohammed Swazuri and Kenya Railways Corporation, MD Atanas Maina, and 5 others who were arrested on Saturday will be coming to the court. They have been in the custody of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and these 7 are just part of the list. The public prosecution saying from the EACC he has received a report recommending the prosecution of 17 people. So maybe 10 more people will be arrested in the course of time. And in a statement by the Director of Public Prosecutions regarding those who were arrested on Saturday, and he says investigations established that the Ministry of Physical Planning irregularly allocated and registered parcels of land situated on the railway reserve. And why he has issues with this, it is that officials, the statement says, fully cognizant of the fact that proceeded to irregularly and illegally award and compensate entities and persons in whose favor the fraudulent registration was made. And these are pieces of land amounting to millions of shillings that should not have been paid for in the first place. In some instances, it is a case perhaps of the government paying itself. In one case, there is a piece of land that was initially part of the Kenya Railways Corporation land, and even that was also paid for in the SGR compensation process. And so this morning we will be waiting to see what exact charges will be brought against them by the prosecution. As I have mentioned to you earlier, we are expecting that this time people will not be waiting for too long here in court. Last week, those who were here before, Evans Kidero, the former Nairobi governor, was brought to court facing also graft mismanagement of funds charges while he was at the Nairobi county government. They waited here for hours, and the judge at the anti-corruption court then made a decision saying that the prosecution should file cases that are to be had on a particular day by 8 a.m. in the morning. We have not yet established whether the prosecution has already done that, but we'll be waiting to see in the next few hours what will be happening here. But Sharon, of course, this week will also be a week that many will be watching what will happen. The demolitions perhaps will be going on. Maybe there will be more arrests if the war on graft is what the president wants it to be. He says this time it will not be the same as has been in the past. Sharon.
Right, Rita. And have any of them arrived in court as we speak?
None of them has arrived. We are expecting that they will be leaving the Ethics and Anti-Corruption premises, which is just not too far off from here. As I mentioned, they spent the weekend in the custody of the EACC. They were not in the police cell. And once they leave there, they will be brought here. We have our crew down there at the EACC, and they will be informing us what time they will be leaving here. We are keeping an eye on things for you from here, Sharon. Immediately they get here, we will be establishing what charges they will be facing if all 7 of them will be coming to court today. Whether it is Mohammed Swazuri and Atanas Maina, we'll be waiting to see what unfolds here at the Milimani Law Court this morning, Sharon.
Rita, and lastly, the arrest of the National Land Commission Chair, Dr. Mohammed Swazuri, on Saturday, of course, came just days after his has been said to be arrogant remarks just days earlier.
Sure.
And what has been the commentary around the kind of style that the DPP is using in fighting corruption?
Well, the DPP already setting his own standards since he took that office. As this is one individual who has been credited so far by the actions that he has taken, not just the high-profile cases, Sharon. Remember, even in that simple case where a man battered the wife, even such cases, he gets the information, he gives instructions, and some action is taken. So the DPP sort of setting his own standards here. He is dealing with the cases, the high and mighty, even the low in society. Nothing is escaping him. And going by his record so far, he has handled more cases perhaps than what cases were handled or have been brought to court in the previous office that was held by Keriako Tobiko. So the Nurdin Haji setting his own pace, setting his own standards, and this is just the beginning. Perhaps more is yet to come. And as you mentioned there, Mohammed Swazuri, I was at the press conference where he said he was not going to resign. He had been facing pressure, but he said it was the president who had appointed it. He maintained that the compensation had been done regularly, everything. He said he even displayed papers. At that time he was speaking about the Ruaraka land. He's also on the spot about that. And when asked about the other issues of the SGR, he refused to take any questions. On the Ruaraka land as well, he refused to take any questions. But as you mentioned, they are sort of arrogant, saying he will not resign. Sharon.
Many thanks, Rita Tinina, speaking from the Milimani Law Courts.